Okay, child's pose as we begin this practice this morning. Your seat drops, your arms energize, your palms spread wide. The front of the forehead rests nicely on the ground. So there's a nice extension through the back of your neck, your upper shoulders. And then play with dropping your seat a little bit more towards your heels, the best that you can. Anchor your hands and create a lift of your forearms. Your arms are not passive. A few cycles of breath for yourself just to arrive onto your mat. Feel the air move nicely through the back of your throat. And then let the exhale follow, but see if you can keep your mouth closed and exhale through your nose. Spread the palms a little wider. Feel the thumbs, the index finger, the baby finger, curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up nice and high. So for this morning, guys, bend your knees a lot. Bend your knees a lot in your down dog. Yeah, they're almost like halfway and hovering the mat. Yeah. Lift your hips up off your shoulders and then straighten your legs from there. Yeah, see if you can get a little bit more access through the back sides of your legs. There we go. Yeah. So try that again. Bend your knees. Sorry, I was just muting people as they were coming in. Bend your knees a lot. Yes, and they almost hover the mat. I'm demonstrating here if you're unsure of what I mean. Yes. Broaden the upper shoulder blades. So move your shoulders away. Feel your hands spread. Feel your outer arms wrap. And then from here, from your hips, start to lift up and back and see if you get a little bit more space. And the truth is, if you run, you play tennis, you cycle, you walk, you live your life, your legs may never go straight. So be okay with that. Spread your toes wide. Let your head detach from your body. That's not hard for me to do today. Just let my head go. Draw your belly in. Let your ribs lift you up. Just be still for a few more breaths as people arrive. Connect to the same breath that you had in the child's pose if you can. Start to match the inhale. Start to match the exhale. And then I always try and exhale a little bit more if I can. And then with this, roll forward to plank. Stack your body so your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists align nicely. Your gaze, known as your drishti, moves to the front edge of your mat. Yeah, broaden. And if you're not feeling like you have a lot of energy this morning, or you're nursing an injury or just don't feel like doing this, drop your knees to the floor and you support. A lot of this practice is being okay with doing less. Yes, spread your palms, bring your weight forward onto your tippy toes, draw your hip points up a little, and then hug in. Hug into the center line of your body. And what I mean by that is think of your outside of your body, your outer triceps, wrap them in. Your hip points, hug them in. The sides of your legs, hug them in. Your ankle bones, grip them in. Good. And then hold here. A few more breaths. Inhale the breath, lengthen. Exhale, sustain. Good. See if you can take the round out of your upper back. Look forward just a tiny bit more. Drop your knees if you need support with your drishti just a little forward. Bend your elbows halfway or a little bit. Chaturanga or supported chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position. Do your best. Downward facing dog, hips press up and back. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Good. Roll forward to a plank. You can drop your knees to modify. Totally cool. Moving extra slow this morning, guys. Bend your elbows in chaturanga. Support before you move. So if you need to drop your knees or lower less or just hold plank, that is cool. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Downward facing dog, hips press back. One more time, just working it out this morning. Roll forward to a plank like an ocean wave. Bend your elbows in half for a chaturanga. Keep your gaze a little forward. This time, pull your heart and your chest through your body for an up dog. If you're nursing a lower back situation, your thighs can stay down. Take this less aggressively. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Walk your hands back to your feet. Keep your feet about hips width distance. If your lower back's an issue, you can always slide a block in between your thighs here, just to kind of take a little pressure off. Good, let your head go. Just let your head go. Yeah, I like to grab behind the calves today, let the head fall, bring the weight forward. This is kind of the old traditional way. Let the head just drop down, bend your knees significantly, and focus on bringing more weight forward into the balls of your feet so your hips can lift and your head can dangle. A few more breaths. Feel your inner thighs hugging. Good. If you place the block there, just remove it. Place it down. Plant the palms, keeping your feet really anchored into the floor. Yeah, don't lift them up. Start to walk your hands back out to a downward facing dog. The heels may lift up. That's okay. Spread the palms a little wider. Yeah. Now, keeping your hands where they are for a moment, look to the center of your mat. Walk your feet to the outer edges and come into squat. Yeah. Take your block, place it underneath your tush if your butt is really far from the ground. Take your feet super wide. So it's hard for me to see in the little Zoom boxes, but my feet turn out and they're all the way to the outer edges of the mat. Now elbows press the insides of the thighs. The back of the triceps are pressing them open. Sit up nice and tall. Let your tailbone drop down. Couple breaths. Feel your feet on the floor. Yeah. Lengthen your tailbone. From the crown of head all the way down through your tailbone, lengthen. Good. From here, you're going to come up into a bear squat. So your arms are going to rest on the tops of your thighs. My feet are going to pivot forward. They'll still about the outer edges of the mat, so it's wide. Now, stick your butt all the way back. Yes. Let your thigh bones move back and rest your elbows on the front of your thighs. Be here. Keep your neck long. Create a little up dog in your upper back. It's like a little bit of an up dog. Perfect. Hold. Think about not dropping back into your knees, but really moving your weight into your thighs. There's a difference. Keep the legs the way that they are. Some of you are not going to like me very much right now. Bring your arms straight up towards the sky. Biceps frame your face the best that you can. This is called Anjali Mudra. Your thumbs are together, your index fingers point. Biceps back, gaze forward. Keep the legs the way they are. Drop the seat back. Weight is in your heels. Sides of the bodies lift. Look forward. Take a big breath in. Hold. Good. Come up a little and pause. Biceps back. Gaze forward. Shoulders back. Weight in your heels. Take another big breath in. Press all the way up to stand. Hands to prayer. Bring your feet to the top edge of your mat. Stand up tall in mountain pose. Drop your arms by your side body. Look forward. Palms face forward. Yeah. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Stretch the arms straight up towards the sky. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Bend your knees a lot. Long spine sets you up. Plant your palms. 2 big steps get you back to a plank. Index fingers are forward. Bend your elbows in half, Chaturanga. Drag your chest through for a nice up dog. Point your toes. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Allow yourself the time to arrive. There's no rush. There's nowhere to run to. Look to the top of the mat. 2 big steps, maybe to start today. When you arrive at the top, fingertips, if they dangle, just have them on the fronts of the shins for the long spine. Fold over your legs. Root to rise, come all the way up. Hands to prayer at heart center. Good. Drop your arms. Let it go. Stretch the arms up. Look up. Dive over bent knees. Forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. That's just to prepare. Plant your palms. Big steps get you back to plank. Bend your elbows in half for your chaturanga or skip. Upward facing pulls you through. New breath, and it's a back bend. Downward facing, hips press back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Press through your hands, anchor and spread them a little wider. Grip your outer arms in. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Make the connection with your breath. Reach your arms up. Dive over bent knees. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float through your chaturanga. Yeah, take it slow. Upward facing. Downward facing. Hips press back. Each one starts to get better, and if it's not, that's okay. Press down, look where you want to go, step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Reach up, stretch up, ground down. Hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms by your side body. Reach up big. Look a little towards the sky. Dive over bent knees. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Plant your palms, 2 big steps or a light float to a chaturanga. Upward facing dog pulls you through. Nice. Downward facing dog presses you back. Roll forward to plank and pause. Yeah, so try this today. Point your right toes, okay, but rest the top of the foot on the mat. Yeah, and just feel your hip kind of draw into the socket. Your right thigh is pretty fired up. The top of the right foot is pressing down. Your outer arms hug in. Look forward, hold. Good. Then from your core, draw your knee to your navel. Yeah. Keep looking forward. Hug it in a little tighter. Wrap the outer arms in. So think belly button to the back of the spine. With your gaze a tad forward, glide your right foot all the way forward in between your hands. Turn your back foot onto its side. Look at your feet and line up arch to arch or heel to heel. Take your block to the instep of your foot, your right hand down, your left arm up. So if this is too much for you this morning, the arm always has the option of being rest on the top of the right thigh. Okay, this is a modified variation. It's just as challenging. If you're without a block, yes. Make sure you're not dumping all your weight into your shoulder this morning. Stack the 2 arms nicely and look up. Yeah. Grip your right glute underneath you. It has the tendency to want to wing out. Turn your bottom right ribs up towards the sky. Anchor your feet and really ground your left leg. Sit a little deeper into your front right thigh. Be here. So if you're dying to take your left arm and wrap it around and take a half bind just because it feels good for your body, you're welcome to do so. If not, just stay with this. If you are taking the half bind, make sure there's still some space between the side of your ribs and your right thigh. Yeah. Turn up those ribs, look off your left shoulder. Feel your feet, feel your inner thighs, feel your outer hips. Stay with it. Let your breath just let you move into the pose, wherever it's going to take you today. Shouldn't be stressful. Keep your right hand down. If you took a half bind, unwrap your left arm straight up, anchor your feet and your legs, pull up to a warrior 2. Yeah. Broaden your arms, broaden your chest. Yes. Drop down into your right thigh and just check in and make sure that your right knee isn't turning in. It's tracking over your right ankle. You can turn up the inner part of your thigh to the outside of the baby toe. A few breaths here. You can close your eyes. Nice. Use both your arms. Stretch across your body. Try not to tuck the tailbone. What I mean by that is think of how you just were in the squat. Lengthen your tailbone. It's the same action. Drop down. Try not to resist or fight the feeling that you have. Breathe. Keep sitting into your front thigh, guys. Look forward. Circle both hands to frame your front foot. If the block is here, you can keep it. Pivot your back heel. You're in a low lunge. Left hand can come onto this block now. Easy twist. Right arm stacks up. If you prefer just having the hand down, that's fine. Just make sure you're not dumping all the weight into your shoulder. Scissor the inner thighs together. Watch your right hip that it doesn't wing out. Stack the 2 arms or have your hand on the flat part of your back if it's too much. Integrate your left leg. And what I mean by that is engage the thigh bone. All the little muscles around your kneecap need to be lifted and engaged. Be high on the ball of your back foot so you can make the most of the pose. Grip the hips underneath you. Stay with the breath. If you can, look up. If your neck is stiff, then don't do that. Look to the floor now. Left palm goes flat. We're moving into a Vashisthasana side plank. If you need to modify, the bottom knee can drop, top leg can bend, or you can stack the 2 feet. Stagger the 2 arms on top of one another. Lift from your bottom hip. So the modification would be bottom knee directly down underneath the hip, right leg strong, or you can float it up. I'm showing the modification if you need it. Stack the two arms, look up. The goal is to keep the two hips squared towards the side wall that you're opening and not letting your top hip heel open. Good. Another big breath in. Look to the floor, right hand comes down, plank position, stay with me. From your plank, bend your elbows in half, chaturanga, and pause. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position. Good. Hug your right knee back in towards your navel, same right leg. Step your right foot forward and through now. Turn your back foot onto its side. So before we move on, we're just getting all of our right side out of the way. Steer your right hip back, bring your arms back like airplane wings. Stay low to the floor. Good. If you have this space in your house, or if some of you are outside, which is great, bring your arms out like a T. If you have a wall next to you, don't do that. Good. Steer your right hip back, left thigh bone forward, and then anchor your feet and your legs, and from your shoulders, lift up, your waist lifts, warrior one. Sit a little deeper into your front thigh, turn your left ribs towards the skinny front edge of your mat, and breathe. Hands come down to frame your front foot, plank position. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Drag yourself to an up dog, point your toes. Take a downward facing dog, hips press back. Roll forward to plank, stack the body. Lift your left foot, point the toe, and then get the top of the left foot down on the ground. It feels a little different, I like it. Broaden the shoulders, hug into the center line, stay with it. Keep your gaze a little forward, then let the foot float a little and hug the knee towards the navel. Do it slow. Wrap the sides of the arms in, hug in a little tighter, keep your gaze forward. Keep your breath flowing. With your gaze still forward, land your left foot forward to the center of your mat. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Take this block to the instep of the foot. If you're going on to the top of the arm, arm on top of thigh, just go this route. Hand down, right arm up. Stack the two arms the best that you can. Anchor your right leg strong. So ideally, we want our hip to hug underneath us. This isn't my best side. So you're going to grip that hip in underneath you. Turn your bottom ribs. Stack the two arms. Maybe this right arm wants to wrap around. Good. Look over your right shoulder. Inner thigh turns open. Waist lifts. Drishti goes towards the ceiling. A few more breaths. Keep the shape of your legs for me, guys. Take your right arm straight up. Anchor your legs, your feet, without any bounce, pull up warrior two. This is where you get to work it out. Tailbone long, side of your body lifted. If you notice, my torso is not turning to the front edge of your mat. The torso is staying in between your hips. Turn up the inner part of your thigh. Settle yourself with your breath. Energetically reach your arms in opposite directions. Ground deeper. Close your eyes. Feel the energetic breath move through your body this morning, and find power with that. Find ease with that. Fire up your arms a little more. Reach more across your body. Stay with it. Good. If your eyes close, blink your eyes open. Begin to bring your gaze forward. Circle both hands to frame your front foot. Walk your left foot to the left a little. They're hips width distance. Right hand tense, left arm peeled. You're high on the ball of your back foot for your easy twist. Scissor the thighs together. Yeah, you want to steer your left hip back. Activate from your right thigh bone, your hamstring, your glute. Jody looks good. Nice, Nancy. Breathe right here. It's the moment when you pause, something shifts. Look to the floor, right palm goes flat. Find your way into your modified version of Vashisthasana or Vashisthasana. Here's another option. My bottom right leg is strong. My left leg is bent to a 90-degree angle. 2 feet can stagger on top of one another or in front. Look up. From your bottom hip, lift higher. Look to the floor, left hand down, pause in your plank. Bend your elbows a little bit or halfway at most, Chaturanga. Keep your weight a little bit more forward. Re-straighten your arms to plank. Hug your left knee back in, same leg. Draw it in a little closer than you think you can. Maybe round out your spine a little bit. Land your left foot forward and through. Come to your fingertips. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Steer your left hip back. Reach your arms back to start, straight back. Left hip steers, right thigh turns forward. If you have the space in your room, arms go straight out like a capital letter T. From your outer blade of your back foot, anchor and press, and then from your waist to your shoulders to your fingertips, lift up. Then see, you may need to creep your left foot a little bit more forward. Yeah. Steer the right side of your body to the skinny edge of your mat. Sit deeper. Sit a little bit more. Embrace it. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Step back plank. Bend your elbows, Chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog. Take a downward facing dog. Hips press back. Look where you want to go. You can step, you can float, you can crawl. I don't know how you're feeling, but get yourself to the top. Long spine right here. Fold over your legs. Sit into a chair pose. Weight in your heels. So like we did in that squat, it's very similar. Stick your butt all the way back. Yeah, your thighs need to move back. That's gonna give you the space to lift your waist up and breathe into the front side of the body. Now, if you're tight in your shoulders, adapt to that. Maybe the arms need to go wider. From your elbows to your fingertips though, your arms are straight. Sit a little deeper. Press into your legs to stand. Draw your hands to prayer. Drop your arms, leave it behind. 3 sun Bs together. Stretch your arms up. Lower your seat into a chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float through your Chaturanga to your vinyasa, whatever that looks like. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot lands, back foot on an angle. Warrior one. If something's going on in your body, you prefer crescent, you take that instead. Hands come down to frame your front foot. You get to plank, maybe you're just going to a dog today. Upward facing. Downward facing, I like it, Deb. Step the left foot forward. Turn your back foot onto its side. Warrior one. Hands come down, plank position. Chaturanga or not. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, be still. So we say this, how can you be in your practice and be really efficient? So work a little less and feel a little bit more. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold over yourself. Sit into a chair pose. Stay strong with it. I see you, Amy Ruth. Smile. You're on camera. Press up to stand. Draw your hands to prayer. It's not the CBS show, but we're doing our best. Drop your arms. Stretch your arms up. Sit into chair. We'll take what we can get. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Long spine, prepare. Exhale your breath, Chaturanga. Skip it if you're not into it. You can go right to a dog. Up dog. Meet in a downward facing dog. From your down dog, glide your right foot forward. Turn your back foot, warrior one. Get rooted, then come up. Hands bring it back down, plank. Vinyasa or not. When you arrive back to your down dog, that's when you glide your left foot forward. Go forward immediately. Anchor and rise. Trying to build some momentum. Hands come down. You're set up for your vinyasa from here. Up dog, fire up your thighs. Downward facing dog is where we all meet. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. We'll do one more. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into a chair. Press all the way up to stand, hands to prayer. One more, stretch the arms up, lower your seat into a chair. I know they're a little bit of a pain. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine, step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, back foot onto its side, warrior one. Just do your best. Moving your energy. Hands to the floor, plank. Chaturanga or not. Up dog, back bend. Down dog, back. Left foot forward, back foot onto its side, warrior one. We have arrived. Hands come down to a plank. Bend your elbows in half. Pull yourself through an up dog. Take a downward facing dog, hips press back. Good. From your downward facing dog, just glide your right foot smack in between your hands. Yes. Turn your back foot onto its side, and from the ground up, we're going to come into a triangle pose. Just like this. Yes. So look at your feet. Your right foot and your left foot are in the same line of energy. Your back foot turns in enough. You can use a block, goes high to the outside of the calf. If something's going on in low back, you could be up really high today. This is fine for triangle. So adapt your pose. If you're looking to go deeper, hook the big toe. You can do it that way. Find length, find space. Take your bottom ribs, turn them up. Maybe lighten your load a little. Good. If you want to intensify things, keep your left arm straight up towards the ceiling or the sky. Bring your right arm to the front skinny edge of your mat so that it goes straight forward. There you go. We're doing it this way. So you're making a capital letter L. This is a big oblique stretch engagement. You're hovering. If it's too much, don't do it. Keep turning your bottom ribs. Keep your left arm up. Bring your right palm back down to your shin. Regular triangle. With your top arm, pull yourself up, straight arms and straight legs. Just creep your right foot a little bit more forward and then bend into your front thigh, into a warrior two, Your arms are really broad across your chest. Great. From here, you're gonna begin to tip right hand now to the outside of your right foot into an extended side angle A. I like a block. You can place it any direction. You can place it up high too. Grip your outer hip and glute underneath you. Yeah. Turn up your bottom ribs and then think about the outside of the right leg, pressing it against the inside of your right arm. Yeah, nice work. Top arm can drape forward if you want more. And then check in with your right shoulder. Make sure it's not turning in. Yeah, so maybe lighten that a little bit. Nice work, Jody. Stay with the breath here. We're holding a little longer today. I'm really trying to get you to open up this hip. So grip your right hip underneath you, turn up your ribs. Anchor from your left foot, more. If your top arm reached forward towards the front edge of your mat, just stretch it straight up towards the sky without any bounce, warrior two. It's a happy day. Straighten your right leg, bring your hands to your hips. Pivot your feet, so now they're parallel to the skinny edges of your mat. Hands to your hips, interlace your hands behind your back, bend your knees, inhale your breath, exhale, fold. So separate leg stretching here. Let your hands drape down. If this is too much for your shoulders this morning, just let your hands drop and take them more with a chaturanga-like arm. The trick with forward folding, when your legs are separated like this, is to bring your weight more forward into the balls of your feet. You can keep as much of a bend in your knees as you need, let your head go. Good. Come up halfway, pause. Your hands are still reaching back along the flat part of your back. Just release your hands and take them directly down underneath your shoulders. So now your fingertips are directly underneath your shoulders. Your weight is forward. Start to bring your gaze to the left side of the mat and begin to creep to the left. Now, your back foot's going to turn, your left foot's going to turn towards the front edge of your mat, and you're going to work yourself into a triangle from here, from the ground up. Left side triangle pose. So what it's teaching us is to really focus from the ground, setting our feet up, and then from that, everything should work out nicely. And if it doesn't, you reset. Use a block to the outside of your calf if you need a little bit more. If you're looking to work deeper, hook the big toe. Soften behind your left knee a little bit. Broaden through your chest. Keep your right arm up. If you want to add the other tricky thing in, you just slide your left arm forward. So now it's a backwards L. Keep turning your bottom ribs. Keep looking up. Stay with your breath. Left hand slides back down to your shin. Pause in the triangle, a few more breaths. Anchor your feet, anchor your legs with your top arm. Pull up to stand. Arms are straight, legs are straight. Pivot the foot forward, bring your hands to your hips. Hands clasped behind your back, opposite way. Inhale your breath, exhale, come forward, bend your knees. We do it a second time just because we need to be even with our shoulders. If having the hands takes you out, just bring the hands flat to the ground. Bring the weight forward, let the crown of the head drop, stomach closer towards the front of the thighs. Come halfway up. All you need to do is look forward. Pause. Slide your fingertips directly underneath your shoulders. That's it. Set up here. Start to creep to the front edge of your mat. Your right foot's going to spin forward. You're in a low lunge at the front edge of your mat, okay? Palms are going to go flat down towards the ground. We're going to go ahead and take our right knee towards our right tricep in a plank. Do it slow. Right knee towards right tricep in a plank. If you like, you can try and bend your elbows a little bit. Set up for Ekapada. There's a lot of different variations of this. If you'd like to fly, you can. Nice work. Slide your right foot back, plank. See if you can sustain plank for a moment. Bend your elbows in half, Chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog. Point your toes. Take a downward facing dog, hips press back. Just roll forward to plank, and from the back of your mat, glide your left knee forward. You got to do the left side. Left knee towards left tricep, look forward. Bend your elbows in half a little bit, or fly, Ekapada, yeah. Slide the left foot back, plank position, pause. Nice work, guys. Bend your elbows, Chaturanga. Drag yourself through an up dog. Take a downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat, step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath, exhale, fold. Sit into a chair, weight goes into your heels. Aren't we having fun? Press all the way up to stand, hands to prayer. Good, keep a block at the top of your mat. We're gonna work into some balance right now. Bring your hands to your hips, that's all you need to do. Stand with a very strong right leg. Grip your right thigh bone back. Yeah, feel your hands on your hips. Shift your weight into your right foot and literally just lift your left foot an inch. Just feel that. Just feel the foot hover. Contract the right thigh, the right glute, all the muscles around the right kneecap. Keep the hands on your hips. Like a pendulum, you're going to start to slide your left leg back into a warrior three, keeping your hands on your hips. Soften behind your right knee a little bit. Keep the hands on the hips. So you just, pelvis is nice and neutral. Gaze is a little forward. Keeping your hands on your hips here for another moment or two. With your gaze forward, left hand will stay on your hip. Right hand's gonna come down off the edge of the right foot. And you're gonna begin to move into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Nice and slow. If you fall out, you come back. Right foot must stay forward. Left arm can extend up towards the sky if you want more. Most of us like to turn our right toes in, so this is teaching us to really focus on that right foot and keeping it forward. Be efficient in this pose. If you'd like to add Shavasana, you can. Reach back with your left hand, bend at your knee crease, grab your foot, and kick behind you. Remember, the kick doesn't go up, it goes behind you. Soften behind your right knee. That may help you stay out of the joint. Maybe come to 3 fingers, 2 fingers of your bottom hand. Maybe just think about that and don't actually do it. Regular half moon, if you added in the Shavasana, release very slow. The transition here is tricky. Stay with me, do the best you can. Bring your gaze down, left hand comes down to the floor. Good. Just pause for a second. Hands are gonna come back to your hips. You're gonna start to float your left leg up and forward. Don't let it touch the floor. Lift the leg in front of you. Hands stay on your hips. Good. From here, using your left hand, bend your knee and take tree pose. Left leg goes into tree. With your hands on your hips, get yourself set, and then if you're ready to move on, hands to prayer, maybe arms extend up. Lift from your waist. Grip your hips underneath you. Lift up a little higher. With your arms lifted, just begin to float your foot away and then wrap your thigh forward to a 90-degree angle. That's all you're doing. Lift up a little higher. Now keep the lift of your arms. Lower your left foot down. Sit into a chair really deep. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow. Turn to the right. So your yoga practice is kind of like baking or cooking. You take step by step and then move along the best that you can. Weight goes into your heels. Thigh bones back. Open up your arms if you want more. If you want to work side crow today, why not? Yeah, bend your elbows, take your palms flat, set up Chaturanga-like arms, and begin to play. If not, just stay here and breathe. Keep the weight in your heels, pull around to chair, look forward. Sit deeper. It's just a feeling, it'll go away. Press all the way up to stand, bring your hands to prayer. Drop your arms, stand still. Move your block to the left corner because you know you're gonna need it. Hands on your hips. Keep your hands on your hips. Move all the weight into your left leg and literally just lift your right foot an inch. Just an inch. Keep your hands on your hips. It's gonna help you balance. Contract your left thigh, your glute. Begin to float your right leg very slowly back. I personally bend into my left leg a little, and that's how I find it. Keep the hips squared off. Lift the heart a little higher. You're just doing warrior 3 with your hands on your hips to start. Lift from your inner thigh. Yeah. Good. Keeping your right hand on your hip. Good. Left hand's gonna reach down, just do that much first. And then gripping your left hip and glute underneath you, begin to turn your right hip open. Move really, really slow. Fire up your right leg. Lift from your inner thigh, and then maybe grow by lifting your right arm up. Lift from your waist, spark up your toes. If you like to add the Shavasana, you can reach back. The foot should grab into your hand. It should arrive into your hand pretty naturally to kick back. Turn up your bottom ribs, look over your right shoulder. Good. If you took the bound leg, release it. Regular half moon. Transition is slow. Start to look down. Right hand comes to the floor, square your hips. Good. You have to bend into your left leg, bring your hands to your back to your hips, and very slowly, without letting your right foot touch the ground, pull the leg all the way up. Keep the hands on your hips. Lift it up from your core. And then using your right hand, bring your right leg up into a tree pose. Hands can stay on hips if balance is a little rocky. Hands to prayer. If your balance is crummy, you can always go to the wall for tree. Grip your outer hips in, stand up tall. If you'd like, you can bring your arms up, stretch up. Fix your eyes on something. You're outside, not a bug that's moving. Find something that's still. Lift a little higher. Start to let your right foot gently float away from the inner thigh and then wrap it forward with the leg engaged at a 90-degree angle. Lift your arms up a little higher. Keep all that. Lower the right foot down. Sit into chair. Sit really deep. Take the opportunity to really get low. Bring your hands to prayer. Hook the elbow. Turn towards the left. Look down and just make sure the two knees stay lined up. Yeah. The right side of the body likes to turn with us. Open up your arms if you want more. You could work into a side crow. Remember, ideally, we want to rest all of our weight on our front arm in side crow. Keep the weight in your heels. Stay with it. Couple more. Keep the weight in your heels. Pull back around to chair. Meet us there. Look forward. Press up to stand. Draw your hands to prayer. Stand like this, okay? With your left leg strong, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. We're gonna do this now. Yeah, make the figure 4. Guys, it looks like this. I can't even balance anymore. Yeah, hands to prayer. Okay, start with this, then bring your arms up. Then start to sit. Now, as you sit, you may notice that you need your hands to kind of move your hips back. That's okay too. Flex your foot. Then if you want more, arms come forward. Arms can rest onto, hands can rest onto blocks. But what I'm trying to teach a lot of my students is to wrap the foot around the tricep. So flex your right foot around your left tricep. If you want to fly, you can. If you just want to enjoy the IT band stretch, yeah, steer your hips back. Move your weight into your left heel and breathe. You got it, Debbie. Drop your seat back towards the bookshelf more. Like use your hands to like manually move those hips back. Keep flexing your top foot. Weight stays in your heels. So if your hands are down or you're flying, you're gonna come up really slow. Everybody bring their hands to their hips. Yes. Reach your arms back. Yeah. Start to stretch them up. Press up to stand. Stand with your feet together. Arms by side body. One more time today. Yeah, you get a little dizzy sometimes. Right leg strong, left leg bends. Make the figure 4 here with your left leg. Do the best that you can with it. Bring your arms up to start because essentially this is chair pose. Stick your butt out, flex your left foot a lot and start to lower. If you start to lower and you're like, oh, I need my hands, steer the hips back, that's fine. Good, then play. Maybe arms reach back or arms reach forward. I like arms forward. Yeah, because it's getting me to move my seat back. Weight is in your right heel. Then I'll bring my hands down and I'll take advantage of this IT band stretch. And I'm flexing my left foot now around my right tricep and continuously steering my hip back. And believe it or not, I'm getting more from this than if I went into a arm balance right now. An arm balance is great, but not going to define me today. Good, stay with it. Keep steering your hips back. That's it. Keep bending into your right leg. I know it's challenging. 3 more breaths. All right, to get out, you're gonna move slow. So at the same time, start to lift the fingertips, slide your hands to your hips. Yeah, start to press yourself up, arms up, press to stand, feet together. Drop your arms by your side body. Just be still for a moment. Stretch your arms out and up, look up, dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine, step or float to a chaturanga. Upward facing dog pulls you through. Downward facing dog presses you back. Land your right foot forward, crescent lunge. Crescent lunge. Good. Integrate your back leg. Bend into your front thigh. Listen, if you get here and it feels sloppy today, drop your knee. No one gives a crap. Yeah, just be like this. Hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, begin to turn. You may get here and say, oh, I need to drop my back knee. I'm going to get more from the posture. Now, when you're in this, lean back just a tiny bit. Yeah. Nice, Rima. Watch your right hip. You want to hug it underneath you. Julie K, walk your right foot to the right, about 2 or 3 inches. Yeah, keep going. That's going to give you more space. Some of you look very serious. Oh my goodness, professional yogis. Okay, Jody, steer your right hip back. Yeah. I don't even need to see the box to tell you what to do here. Steer your right hip back, and then lean just your torso, your head towards your left heel. Nice work. At the end, we want to give up. Breathe. Two more. Look down, take both hands to the floor. Tense your fingertips, step your back foot in. So you're about 3 feet between your 2 feet. Hands to your hips, simultaneously pull yourself up. Walk your right foot a little to the right. We're setting up for twisting triangle. I'm taking you in a different way. Left arm forward. I did this last week. It works fantastic. Right hand to the flat part of your back. Nancy, I think this is going to work great for you. Stay with this. Think about your torso staying upright. Thighs and legs very engaged. Begin to look to the right. Just look to the right. Then maybe your right arm opens. Stay very upright. This may be the twist. Actually, if your lower back is not great, I'd rather you stay here. Breathe. Hips back. If you like to travel deeper into the twist, left hand's going to start to reach in front to your front of your right shin. If you prefer the block, place it to the instep, right arm up. Keep steering your hips back, anchoring your left leg. Stack the 2 arms. Yeah. Last little bit, focus on your back leg. Yeah, that's going to keep you. Look to the floor, take both hands down. Plant the palms, step to a down dog. Just step down dog. Yeah, be still in your downward facing dog. Grip your outer arms in. If you feel like you need a vinyasa, take it. I'm not stopping you, but just feel the down dog. Glide your left foot forward. Low lunge, crescent lunge, bring it up. Alignment looks really good. Remember, hip points forward and about hips width distance with your feet. Hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, and twist. If you start to get sloppy, just drop the knee, or it may feel better. Lean back here. Crown of the head lines up with your back right heel. Maybe open up your arms. Scissor the inner thighs, the outer thighs together. Grip the hips underneath you. Steer that left hip back more. Stay with it. Keep bending into your front thigh. Last few breaths. Look to the floor. Place both hands down. Step your back foot in, straighten both your legs. Back foot's in a warrior 1 foot. Hands on your hips, pull yourself up at the same time. Work out the stance. For me, I have to walk my left foot a little to the left. Good. Left palm comes to the flat part of the back. Right arm's going to reach forward like we're shaking hands. Just do this much first. The torso is lifted and long. The legs are strong and straight. The hips are back. Left arm reaches back. So Meredith, this is for you. Stay up really high in the pose. And remember, your spine doesn't move. It's just your ribs. Good. Stay with this, or if you'd like to try to move deeper, right hand's going to shift to the front of the shin. Left arm's got the space now to reach up. Maybe a block feels better for you. Place underneath the shoulder. Anchor, find the space in the side body. Yeah, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get to this pose and I feel crunchy and I can't move in it. Getting in this way, I feel really open. And if you don't feel that, don't feel bad. It's okay. Steer the hips back. Last little bit here, focus on your right leg. Here we go. Look down, take both hands to the ground, step to a downward facing dog. It was really good. Now plant your palms firm, drop your forearms down for dolphin. And in dolphin pose, you gotta bring your elbows closer to you. Dolphin pose. Yeah, spread the palms wide. Walk your feet a little closer. Hug your right knee to your navel in dolphin. Rip the outer arms in, draw the right knee a little closer to you. Then from your right thigh, fire the right leg up towards the sky. Scissor the inner thighs together. Don't open your hip. Your leg is just lifting and it's staying hip height. Good. Draw your right knee back in. Lower the right foot, dolphin. Stay with it. Draw the left knee in. Draw it in. Wrap the outer arms in. Press the palms firmly more into the ground. Keep drawing the leg in. Then from your thigh, press the leg up. Try to keep the hips squared. Feel your inner thighs hug together. It's like a scissor. Your right thigh fires towards the back of the mat. Good. Hug your left knee in. Hug it in tight. Lower the left foot, dolphin pose. Drop your knees with your feet and your knees together. Slide your arms forward into child's pose. Your feet, your knees, your legs are together. It's different. Rock your weight forward, forearms come down. Last little bit of work, ladies. Curl the toes, forearm plank. Yeah, if you're dying to go upside down and you can safely do that in your space, now would be the time. 10 breaths here. Yeah. Let me show you a modification because I had a strained neck last week. I was taking my forearm plank like this. So from my knees to the tops of my feet, I'm using a lot of energy. I'm not lazy here. My belly's drawing in, my palms are flat. Give this a whirl if you feel like you need to drop your knees, but stay active. Feel like you're pulling your shoulders apart. Spread your palms wide. So it's not Sphinx, it's forearm plank with your knees anchored and the tops of the shins down. A few more breaths. Stay with me, guys. Lean onto your right arm, forearm side plank. You can have your arm straight forward. You can turn it a little bit. Left arm up. To get more, stretch your left arm up and forward. Lift from your bottom hip. You can do this with the bottom knee down too if you need to. Look to the floor, forearm plank. Keep your weight forward. Left forearm down or turn it in a little. Roll to the outer blade of your left leg. Right arm up. Top arm up and forward is going to give you a little bit more through your core. Lift from your waist. Spark up your toes. Look down, forearm plank. Keep your gaze forward. Left palm goes flat, left arm straightens, right arm goes flat. Right palm goes flat. That's what I was trying to say. Down, plank position is where we're meeting. Downward facing dog, hips press back. From your down dog, slide your right knee forward, come into a half pigeon. It's not a long hold. Set yourself up here, half pigeon pose. Yeah, let yourself just kind of melt into it. Just remember, roll your weight into your left thigh, so that way your thigh drops and your pelvis is neutral. Press yourself up onto your hands. Firm up your arms. Curl your left toes into the mat. Don't worry, I'm not going to scare you here. Press back down dog, just from here. Firm up the sides of the arms. Spread the palms a little wider. Look forward. Glide your left knee forward, half pigeon. And then fold on this side. Ideally, we're just trying to create more space. When you move into the pose, you have more room to play. Right side down, right? So if all the weight's rolling to the left side, I call that dying pigeon. We want to avoid that. Use the strength of your arms, press yourself up. This time, I want you to lean onto your left butt cheek, slide your right leg forward. Bend your legs in half, take your block with you, anchor your feet, take your hands to the front of your shin, sit up really tall. With your feet pressing down, reach your arms forward just like this. So I want you to feel a drawing in of your navel, your shoulders drawing back, your feet stay down. If you feel awkward, bring your feet a little closer to you. So try that, yes. Everybody's a little different. If your back's ever bothering you, this is how you take boat. This is boat Navasana. It's the same pose. It's actually more effective. Hug in. Now, very, very slowly, you're going to start to lower down, very slow. And it's hard because you get to a point you just want to zip down. Keep grounding. The slower you go, the more you'll get out. Keep hugging in. You need to kind of round your back. When you get about halfway, anchor your feet. Then you get to a point where you just kind of want to roll all the way down, anchor your feet. When you hit the floor, set yourself up for bridge pose. Take your block with you. I've been taking bridge with a block underneath the tailbone. Place it any direction that works for you on the flat part of your back. Clasp your hands underneath your back, cup open your shoulders. Steer your feet forward, guys. Turn your thighs down. Good. Take your thighs down and under, turn your feet forward. Stay here, or a couple options. You can go into a full wheel. You'll flip your palms, bring your chin to your chest, and you'll press yourself up. Next option would just be to extend the legs of the block underneath your tailbone straight up towards the sky. If you don't have a block, you can also do it with your low back just flat on the ground. It's kind of like legs up the wall. It's obviously more effective with a block, but this is another alternative. Thighs will be directly over your hips. If you have a block, the block's placed most likely at the highest setting. Hands clasped around that block. If you're in a full wheel, stay up for me. Good. Tuck your chin, come out with control. If your legs are up like mine are, bend them in half, take the feet flat to the floor. Then lift your hips up to remove the block or any objects out from underneath you. Then lower your hips down. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Reach for the outer blades of your feet for a happy baby. Draw the knees around the rib cage. And if you want more, hook your big toes, wide straddle on the back. You can straighten your legs. Remember, the back of the shoulders and the neck are flat down. Lengthen the tailbone. Hug the knees back in. Last little thing and we'll be done. Take your feet to the width of the mat, okay? The width of your mat. Draw the feet close towards your butt and then drop your knees in this direction over to the right, okay? So it's just a way to take a supine twist. So it looks like this. If you want more, take your bottom right foot over the left thigh, kind of like an ankle to knee here. Left shoulder blade down and look a little to the left. Come up to center. Feet go wide. Bring your feet closer to you just so your knees stay closer. Drop them all the way over to the left. Then with your bottom left foot, take it over your right thigh bone And that's going to give you this TFL and whole side body opening. Look a little to the right if you can. Good. Come up to center. Set yourself up for Shavasana, complete rest. If you have 2 blocks, slide them underneath your legs. Let your feet turn out. Let your palms face open. Really important. Maybe you just want to place something underneath your head, a little pillow or a block. But now it's important to do nothing for the next minute or so. Exhale the breath. And let yourself just melt. Big full breath in. Loud, deep, complete breath out. Press everything out. Arms reach up over the top of the head for a full body stretch. Hug the knees in towards the chest for a giant squeeze. And however you like to get up today, just sit up nice and tall. If you prefer just to stay down, that works. And I always say at the end of the practice, it's like a new body, but more importantly, it's a new mind, like a fresh start to the day. Let the hands draw to a prayer. Bow your head for just a second. If you can, close your eyes. Not mandatory. And just feel, I feel so much more grounded from this practice. Hopefully you do too. Lift your head, open your eyes. With much gratitude to you all always. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. So Wednesdays and Saturdays are the days, 9:30, to get us through the